Welcome to Hollywood World. In this video, we're going to dive into the shocking secret love life of Sal Mineo, a Hollywood star who rose to fame in the 1950s, only to have his life tragically cut short. But before his untimely death, Sal left behind a personal revelation of the famous male stars he secretly dated during a time when homosexuality in Hollywood could destroy careers. 1. James Dean. Let's start with the most famous and perhaps most emotionally intense connection, James Dean. Sal Mineo was open in private letters about his deep affection for Dean, whom he met on the set of Rebel Without a Cause. While Dean never officially came out, many close to both actors noted their intimate bond went beyond friendship. Sal once described Dean as his first heartbreak, and their chemistry on screen reflected something deeper. Even after Dean's sudden death, Mineo reportedly referred to him as the love of his life. 2. Bobby Driscoll. A Disney star turned tragedy, Bobby Driscoll was a child actor who struggled with addiction and career decline. Sal and Bobby reportedly met during the late 50s in Los Angeles when both were drifting from the spotlight. Driscoll's fall from fame created a bond between them, forged in secrecy and vulnerability. Sal confided to friends that they shared quiet nights away from the cameras, but both men lived under the constant threat of exposure. 3. Montgomery Clift. A tortured soul like Sal himself, Montgomery Clift was known for his incredible talent and hidden sorrow. Sal admired Monty's courage and found in him a kindred spirit. According to sources close to Mineo, they had a brief but meaningful relationship. Clift, still reeling from his near-fatal car crash and Hollywood scrutiny, found comfort in Sal's company. It was a relationship built on empathy, silence, and pain. 4. Tab Hunter. Tab Hunter was the clean-cut Hollywood heartthrob, and a deeply closeted gay man. Tab and Sal were known to attend the same underground gay gatherings in the 50s and 60s. While Tab later confirmed his sexuality in a memoir, it's believed that he and Sal had a short-lived relationship. Tab was careful to protect his career at all costs, but Sal wrote in his journals about the charming blonde star who broke his heart. 5. Troy Donahue. Known for his roles in romantic dramas, Troy Donahue was another actor who allegedly shared private moments with Sal. Though Troy publicly denied being gay, several insiders claim he had numerous discreet affairs with men, including Sal Mineo. Their time together was short, reportedly during a break in Troy's engagement, but Sal remembered him as sweet and scared of the truth. 6. Richard Chamberlain. Richard Chamberlain, the matinee idol who starred in Dr. Kildare, was another of Sal's secret companions. Chamberlain didn't come out until decades later, but it's said he and Sal met through mutual theater friends in New York. Sal once wrote that Richard had the smile of an angel and the fear of a sinner. They shared a few passionate months before Chamberlain moved on, driven by the fear of being outed. 7. Anthony Perkins. Best known as Norman Bates in Psycho, Anthony Perkins had numerous gay relationships during his early career, including, allegedly, with Sal Mineo. The two connected over their love of theater and alienation from the mainstream Hollywood crowd. Though Anthony later married a woman, many believe he lived much of his life closeted, and Sal described him as someone who loved with caution. 8. Rock Hudson. The ultimate Hollywood heartthrob, Rock Hudson lived a double life, one as a screen icon, the other as a man terrified of his truth. Sal and Rock reportedly had several clandestine encounters, especially during Rock's early rise. Sal later told close friends that Rock was lonely, kind, and afraid to let the world know who he really was. Rock's own struggles with his identity paralleled Sal's experience. 9. Raymond Burr. Though he played hard-nosed detectives and attorneys, Raymond Burr was also part of Hollywood's hidden gay network. Sal and Raymond reportedly met at a private party hosted by an agent known for matchmaking closeted actors. Burr, 20 years Sal's senior, was said to be very protective of him. Their relationship was brief but meaningful, especially for Sal, who respected Burr's intelligence and depth. 10. Paul Lynde. The famously flamboyant comedian Paul Lynde was openly queer in private circles. Sal Mineo and Lynde moved in some of the same Los Angeles social groups. Despite their very different public personas, the two reportedly had a casual romance, full of late-night parties, theater gossip, and shared pain. Sal called Paul, the only man who could make him laugh and cry in the same hour. 11. George Nader. One of Rock Hudson's closest friends, George Nader lived an openly gay life behind the curtain. Sal and George reportedly became close during the mid-60s, bonding over their exclusion from certain Hollywood cliques. George provided a sense of stability that Sal craved, and their relationship, while not long-term, left a lasting mark on Sal's heart. George was one of the few actors who accepted his identity without shame. 12. Farley Granger. Farley Granger, the suave star of Hitchcock's Rope and Strangers on a Train, lived openly gay within certain circles. He and Sal had a connection that was reportedly both romantic and intellectual. Granger later wrote about relationships with men, but never named Sal directly. Sal's notes, however, suggest they had a brief but intense time together, often discussing acting, fear, and escape. 13. John Kerr. Star of Tea and Sympathy, John Kerr represented the sensitive man on screen. In real life, he was married but often rumored to be part of the underground gay scene. Sal and John allegedly had a quiet, respectful connection, one built more on emotional intimacy than passion. Sal described him as gentle, kind, and trapped in a world he couldn't change. 14. Rody McDow. A beloved child star turned character actor, Rody McDow was known to be gay among friends. He and Sal were often seen at the same artistic gatherings. According to Sal's confidants, they shared a short-lived relationship marked by Sal's admiration for Rody's intelligence and composure. Sal later said, "Rody lived his truth quietly, and I envied that." 15. Michael Greer. A rare openly gay actor in the 60s and 70s, Michael Greer was outspoken, confident, and refused to play it straight. Sal and Michael reportedly had a casual romance toward the end of Sal's life. Michael helped Sal reconnect with the idea of being openly gay, something Sal was still grappling with. Greer's influence was one of the reasons Sal was considering a more vocal stance on LGBTQ+ rights before his death. 16. David Baker. Though lesser known than the others on this list, David Baker was a stage actor who appeared in minor roles during the late 60s. Sal and David reportedly dated during a particularly dark period in Sal's life when roles were drying up and his personal demons were rising. David's impact was emotional, offering Sal companionship when others walked away. Sal mentioned David in his diary as a flicker of light when the stage went dark. 17. Barry Coe. Winner of the Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer in 1960, Barry Coe had a brief but memorable film career. Sal and Barry crossed paths during a film workshop in the early 60s. Their relationship was short-lived but passionate. Sal recalled Barry as kind-hearted and scared of cameras off-set. It's believed Barry ended things for fear of discovery, a common theme in Sal's romantic history. In the years leading up to his murder in 1976, Sal Mineo had begun quietly acknowledging his identity in more open terms. He was working on a stage revival and reportedly planning to write a memoir that would discuss his experiences as a closeted actor. Some of his private writings, released after his death, hint at these relationships, but they also show the toll it took to live in hiding. Sal's personal world was full of longing, secrecy, heartbreak, and the constant tension of being exposed. He was a man caught between eras, too bold for the 1950s, and too early for the liberation of the 80s and beyond. The life of Sal Mineo reminds us that Hollywood's golden age was also an age of golden lies. The cost of hiding who you were, for love, for survival, for career, was steep. These 17 actors, some of the most beloved faces in American cinema, were not just icons, they were human beings trapped by fear and silence. And Sal Mineo, with all his flaws and heartbreaks, was one of the few willing to keep loving in the shadows. If these walls could talk, they'd whisper these names. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more hidden Hollywood secrets, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below. Let us know which actor's story surprised you the most. This has been Hollywood World, where the truth is always more dramatic than fiction. See you in the next video.